following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Blowing out of the backfield, exploding down the sideline.
This is Hangin' with the Boys, presented by Wingstop, where flavor gets its wings. Now, your hosts, Nate Newton, Kurt Daniels, Jesse Holley, and Shannon Gross.
Thursday, 11:30 a.m. Central Time in Frisco, Texas. 74 degrees and cloudy. Live look at the Tostitos Championship Plaza at Ford Center at the Star in Frisco. A little action going on out there today. There's some folks out there because the Conference USA basketball tournament is being held live in Ford Center. You can see it right there on the video board as we look at it. And fellas, we can confirm the contract was signed in black ink.
Blue and black ink, baby.
Black ink.
Let's go.
We have proof.
Let's go.
For all of you that are watching at home, if you look on your screen shortly, we have a photo because I specifically asked our photographer that was in the room with him yesterday before he went in. I said, I need you to get a photo for me. And he said, okay. And I said, I need you to zoom in on the contract when he is signing it. And I need to know whether it's blue or black ink because we need this for the show. And he looked at me, kind of cocked his head. James Smith, our team photographer, been here for 20-plus years, looked at me and kind of side-eyed me. And I said, it's a bit just, try to zoom in where you don't get any of the other contract. And he did, and there you go. It was black ink, fellas. And now what are we going to talk about for the next month till the draft gets here? Because this isn't the draft show. So you know what? I'm going to tell you what happened on social media. All the comments for the last year, especially this offseason, everything has been sign Dak, sign Dak, sign Dak, sign Dak. We signed Dak, now guess what they are? He spent all the money. What? We don't have any money left. We're not going to have a defense. Like, where are we going with this? So, guys, initial thoughts. Kurt, are you glad that we can move on and not talk about signing Dak anymore on this show?
Well, yeah, I'm excited. Not the fact that we can't talk about him. Of course, we're going to talk about Dak. But to have him signed, I was really, when I got that email from our PR department, I was a little pumped.
I thought it was
exciting.
a hoax.
Yeah,
I thought it was a hoax.
Yeah. I got to admit, I was getting worried. We were getting down to the final hours, and it I hadn't heard anything. They did a good job of keeping it pretty quiet. But, yeah, man, I was pretty excited about this. This is fun.
Yeah, Nate?
I'm a genius.
Uh-oh.
Oh, my God.
I can't wait to hear this. You were telling us before
I am
you got
a
here.
And the only reason because it's simple, fellas. Now, this one time, and I'm gonna hurry up and say what I gotta say because I knew Jesse finna go on and
I have nothing to say.
So the reason I say I'm a genius is because I've always felt, and Kurt, I need you to back me on this.
All right.
I've always felt all tags do to a player is push them further out the door. And I said, fellas, we're going to get some breaking news somewhere, somehow, before this tag thing drop down on us. Because if a tag happened, I know what they thinking. They got this thing done. So when Shannon hit me, I say, Shannon, there's no breaking news. And as soon as I said that, a couple of the national guys broke it. And I'm like, yes, it's not a hoax. Here it is. And I just not want them to go to the tag. The tag brings an ugly element that you don't want. So here we are. We have Dak, and we also have the gospel.
Take it away, Jesse. See you. I'm going to go use the bathroom or something. I'll be back in 20 minutes.
Me too, man. I'm going to get some cup of coffee.
I'm excited that he got signed. I mean, long time coming. But my question is, outside of blue or black ink, we answered that question. Black ink it was. What happened in the last 2 weeks or whenever they got into these conversations that did not happen in the last 75 weeks or 80 weeks or however long it was in the last 2 years? Because it came down from what they're saying well, we got on the phone in the last 2 or 3 weeks. We kind of really just hammered it out in the last week or so. We kind of really get, what was the conversation in those last 2 weeks that was had that did not happen a year ago, 2 years ago? Like that's my biggest thing. And two, another thing that's kind of been answered was, people been asking me like, well, how come Mike McCarthy wasn't there? And I think it was either David Moore or Machota said that Mike McCarthy, it's spring break for his kids back in Green Bay. And so he had planned a spring break trip for his kids, not knowing that this deal was going to get done or not. So he's with his family. So there isn't some sort of beef between Mike McCarthy and Dak Prescott and, all that kind of stuff. He had an already planned trip with his family and his kids because they're on spring break, and that's why he wasn't present yesterday. But take it away.
Yeah, and
I tell you like this here, fellas.
Oh, here we go.
I tell you like this here,
Here we
man.
go.
I tell you like this right here. I'm excited for the fact that now, one thing, and y'all tell me if I'm wrong or not, we're assured now of winning the East with Dak in this offense.
No.
We're assured now, but all we have to do now is get some type of defense to take us a little bit further. We're going to win the East. The NFC East, Jesse, don't start, man.
No.
Don't start.
No.
Do not start. Jesse, do not start.
See, okay.
They are guaranteed to win the East.
They are not guaranteed to win the East, Nathaniel. They are not guaranteed to win the East.
They are guaranteed to win the East.
You're starting your 16 and 0.
I said the East, the NFC East, the NFC least.
No. We still have a ton of work to do on. Here's the thing.
You told me a week ago, and you beat me down 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. You beat me down. If Dak was there, we would have won 2 more games. And 2 more games would have got us what, Shannon? The NFC East.
Correct.
At least, right?
At least, correct.
Okay.
Of last year's season.
So now all of a sudden, the Giants have not gotten that better.
No. And I ain't talking about the Giants.
You're right. Let me back up.
I'm talking about Washington.
Let's let
exactly
happen. You're
there
right.
We go.
You're right.
There
Jesse.
we go.
You're the
there
gospel.
We go.
You're
there
the gospel.
We go. There we go, Nathaniel.
Let me be quiet. Let me go ahead. I'm gonna get some coffee because I just want to get you crunk.
See, this is what signing Dak does to people like Nate, Cowboy fans.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Because we're going to go 16-0. Don't do that. We're going to go 15-1. 13-3. I'm sorry.
This is what happens. People get excited and they just start saying stuff. They just start saying, guaranteed to win the NFC East. Whoa. Granted, signing Dak in last year's terrible NFC East would have guaranteed us that win. But now that they're seeing that other teams are surveying the land as well. The Giants are surveying the land. Washington, I'm telling you guys, Washington is close. They're a big quarterback piece away, but it's a huge piece. It's a huge piece, but they're kind of almost the reverse of what we are. For us, offensively, we're so powerful offensively that we don't need this great defense.
40 burger.
Washington is the reverse.
80 burger.
If they can't find, this prolific quarterback, they can kind of almost, Baltimore Raven it, where like, hey, offense, don't turn the ball over, control the clock, give us 14 points. Their defense is going to be legit. And so if their offense can give them 14 points, Cats ain't going to be scoring 20 and 30 and 35 points on this Washington defense.
Except the Cowboys.
I think they're going to act. I think maybe. But I think Washington, that's the team that not Philadelphia, not New York. It's going to come down to Washington and the Cowboys who's going to win this division. And it may come down who is the healthiest. It may come down whose strength is the strongest. If the Cowboys offense, which will be their strength, is stronger and better than the Washington strength in their defense, that's going to be the determining factor come December of 2021 on who's going to win this division. I'm not going to go with the grand teams.
I got this.
I think we might have lost Kurt. At least we lost him on the screen. He's frozen. I hear him talking on the WebEx, but I can't hear him.
Go ahead on, Kurt. Talk. You on the right track. Talk, Kurt. Talk, baby. Talk. Go ahead on, Kurt. Preach. You know, I'm gonna tell you something that's right here, Kurt. And Jesse, and I'm sorry if I'm misleading the fans, but what I am trying to say is, and you're right. You brought me a little bit down to earth as far as the competition within the East, and I feel this: the head coach of the Washington Redskins, Coach Rivera,
Washington football team.
He ain't worried about no superstar quarterback. If he can get a quarterback to do just what you said, we in some trouble, boy, because we're going to have to build that defense. We're going to have to go get us 2 hogs in the middle of that defense because they run the ball well. And if they get a quarterback that's just accurate and can get the ball out, boy, they're gonna be tighter than Shannon's hair on the side of his head.
Hey! I like it. Hey, and just
but
go ahead.
I was gonna say, since we're calling out who's been a genius, I still think I'm on the track of being a genius. I told you guys a couple weeks ago. I told you in text about a month ago. All these high-powered names, a lot of names are being released. A lot of quality football players are being released, and nobody has much cap room. Some people have some, but we're gonna have an opportunity if we're doing it right. And I think the Cowboys have set themselves up right. Jerry has been listening to the show. Steve has been listening to the show, and they said, let's get Dak signed up so that we can get some of that cap relief, restructure some deals, like Jay Holly said, get some more cap relief. And now we can go out here and start, because this team has to go right now. Now we can go start signing these 1-year deals, 2-year deals for some of these high-profile players. A guy like Keanu Neal, who comes from the Dan Quinn under coaching, has been released. Maybe he comes here and joins Dan Quinn and say on a 1-year deal that's heavy incentive based. You know, all these things can happen to give us the things that we need, Nate. So, you know, I'm on track to still being a genius on this thing, man. We can sign a couple of these guys for 1-year deals, prove it deals. You know, a guy like Bud Dupree, right? Since you got Todd France, who's also Dak Prescott's agent, is Bud Dupree's agent. You got him at the negotiating table. Y'all buddy right now. He's coming off an injury, right? He needs to prove it to get some new money. Sign him for a 1-year deal. What better place, Bud Dupree, to come here, get your 1-year prove it deal, get healthy, play some quality football, go to the playoffs with Dak Prescott leading you there, and then go into the free world market and get you some more money. I'm just saying, man, these things they're possible now. All these things are possible. Your boy Jay Holly, the gospel is looking like a genius.
You know what we're going to do? We're going to take an early break. We're going to take an early break because we lost Kurt. And we need Kurt to come back and call BS on this. So we can't do this with just me and Nate. We need three of us to get on Jesse to bring him back down to earth. So we're going to take
who you going against. That's the amen corner.
We're going to take an early break. But you know what, Jesse? When we come back, I agree with you. And if you listened to the press conference yesterday, you heard Mr. Jones say a couple of things that make me believe they are going to be players in this free agent market. I will drop those on you when we come back. Hopefully we'll get Kurt. And we'll continue talking about Dak Prescott. Black Ink, fellas. Black Ink, we got our guy. When we come back. And I want to know, do you think we overpaid? When we come back on Hangin' with the Boys.
Just like all of you, we at SeatGeek can't wait until we're back in the stands at full strength cheering on the Cowboys and singing along to our favorite songs again. We're using this time to make discovering, buying, and selling tickets to events in Dallas easier. Plus, every ticket purchased on SeatGeek is protected by our buyer guarantee, which means you'll get your money back or better if your event is canceled. Guaranteed. Download the SeatGeek app today, and when the time is right, let's go. SeatGeek.
Grab some OtterBox gear and get ready for Hanging with the Boys. From rugged venture coolers to tough as nails elevation tumblers, we've got what you need to keep your game day drinks frosty and your football feast ice cold. And with cases, screen protectors, and power accessories, you can defend your phone and stay connected to every play. Gear up at OtterBox.com and amp up the fun of every Cowboys game. That's OtterBox.com.
1996, a great year and a glorious decade. Dolly the Sheep was cloned. Dial-up was awesome. Influencers didn't exist. Pants were baggy. And the Dallas Cowboys won it all yet again. Sadly, we can't go back to the 90s, but we can still watch the Cowboys try to win it all once more. Whether you're traveling to the games or watching from your favorite vacation spot, book a place to stay on Hotels.com. Proud partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
Petit Jean Meats has been providing high-quality meat for families for more than 90 years. Using only the best cuts of meat and quality ingredients, Petit Jean Meats still smokes their meats the old-fashioned way, over real hickory chips for 18 hours. Fill your pantry with Petit Jean Meats ham, sausage, bacon, and more. Or send your loved ones a gift box full of their favorite items from pjmeats.com. That's pjmeats.com. Petit Jean Meats. Taste the difference.
Back to Hanging with the Boys.
We are back. And if you're watching the game in old basketball shorts or baggy sweats, that's for amateurs.
Shannon, you're muted.
Yeah,
I'm not now.
Shannon.
I'm not now. Calm down, guys. I got this under control. If you're watching the game in old basketball shorts or baggy sweats, it's for amateurs. If you want to relax like a pro, upgrade to the comfort of Tommy John Loungewear. It looks awesome, feels even better. It's got pockets for snacks. It's machine washable for any unpredictable nacho cheese spills. Shop loungewear at TommyJohn.com/Cowboys for 15% off your first order. TommyJohn.com/Cowboys. Welcome back to the SWBC Mortgage Studio here in Frisco, Texas. Nate Newton, Jesse Holly. We got Kurt Daniels back with us. And before we get into the topic of, we all wanted this to happen, I want to know, do you think they overpaid on this deal, or do you think it's just about where it should be? But Jesse, to continue the conversation you had about free agent shopping, Mr. Jones yesterday, and I think this may have had, I don't know how much this played into it, but I think this may have had a little bit to do with your question of what changed now than it did last year, is Mr. Jones referenced having a full stadium this year and, being optimistic about the season and about getting, things back to normal not post-COVID. We're still in the middle of COVID, but the season looking more, and even training camp, he said we were going to Oxnard. Things looking more like they're going to be back to normal. And him kind of betting on, I guess the financial situation of the league and the team and the cap, how that's going to play into the cap and things like that. So it sounded like he's optimistic from that standpoint. Maybe that gave him some peace of mind of, the cap not being lowered going into the next season. They found out what the cap number was going to be. What was that, yesterday, Kurt, or maybe the day before?
Yes, yeah, yesterday.
Yeah, so maybe
182.5, I think.
That played into it. But I think just hearing him talk about how optimistic he is about the league and where we're heading, that to your point, there's a lot of guys that are being let go. Just last week, Kyle Rudolph and the guy you mentioned in Atlanta and several guys, and it seems like there's going to be a lot more guys being released. It's going to be a buyer's market, and I would not be surprised if you go see them do something. They got their quarterback. They know they've got to do something on defense. They haven't been big players in free agent market. I would not be surprised to see them try to restructure one or two more deals and go try to win now. Like, I think maybe this is their year where they're looking at it like, hey, we can get these guys on some deals. Let's go try to win. Let's just try to get it done this year. Let's go win it. We got our quarterback, and we'll figure it out next year or however, but let's go do it now. So I'm going to be interested to see what happens in free agency.
Yeah, I think Jesse's right. I mean, they're in a position.
Hold on, Kurt. Hold on, Kurt.
Mark it
Nate
down.
was sipping this stuff. I don't want nobody to say they didn't hear that. Nate was slurping on his coffee.
March 11th, 11:50 a.m. March 11th. Jesse's right.
Kurt, can you please start your statement again?
It was bound to happen.
Exact same way you started it.
It was going to happen sooner or later. It took 2 years to happen, but Jesse's right on something.
Yeah, well, he's right. I mean, given the market and the guys, the Cowboys are in a position with the salary cap space they've created where they could sign a lot of these, 1 year prove it deals, lower deals to get guys in here. But I even think that they have an opportunity if they want to, and they've shown recently they haven't. If they want to make a bigger splash in free agency, they can. I mean, they would have to backload it where they know the salary cap's going to jump when that TV deal hits. So if they could get through this first year, they could even do something more. Now, will they? I don't know. They've proven they won't. But I think will they? They have to. I think they have to do something in free agent if they want to make this team better.
Question for you, Nate. You're rubbing your head. You're sighing. Is there? Let's talk about big splash free agent.
But don't you agree with?
Is there one guy that they could sign that would immediately make this defense, from the bottom to, let's say, the middle of the pack? Is there one guy or one position that they said, hey, we're going all in and we're going to get this guy? Is there one guy, or is there so much broken on the defense that it's got to be built through the draft and it's got to be multiple guys? Where are they at on the defense?
There's a lot broken, but I think, like we talked last week about defensive lines.
Let this genius talk.
That's you, right?
Go ahead on, Gene. I'm gonna talk. Go ahead on, cause I have something to say.
Before the show even started, you said I'm a genius. So let's hear it.
I am a genius. I foretold what had to happen in signing Dak.
All right. Well, foretell what's next.
The master of the obvious down here with God on his shirt foretold what was going to happen regardless.
You're the master of obvious. We all knew Dak had to get signed. We all.
Oh my God! It was the process and how he needed to be signed. Jesse.
And I love how you had your bet, right? Because you had your bet with, oh yeah, we're gonna hear some breaking news before.
My God!
Of course, we're gonna hear breaking news. Either he signed or he didn't sign. That's the breaking news.
Shannon, did I say before the tagging started? Did I not say that?
Breaking news, Nate. If you jump in the ocean, you're going to get wet. Breaking news. I didn't know if you knew that, but if you jump in the ocean, you're 100% chance you're going to get wet.
Jesse, you need to respect your elders. You get borderline disrespecting your elders. You better calm down a little bit.
No. He's not. No. I like when Jesse goes off like that. He proves more to the point of what I am saying. That is how obvious that he is the genius that he proclaims to be, okay? That we did not know that free agency was coming, that we did not know that everybody's going to be messed up in the cap because they didn't know it. Oh, way to go. And then we got 8-man corner pretty boy Floyd over there going along with him. I love you guys.
But to answer your question...
That's what surprised me. Go ahead.
I mean, I think, is there one position, and we've all kind of been all over the place with this one.
Right.
If you're, and I don't want to sound like a hypocrite because I know where I stand and I still stand on that. But if you're talking about a short-term fix, saying, hey, go grab a guy for a year, go grab a guy quick, in free agency, then I will side with Nate. If you're telling me that I can go get a guy like Ndamukong Suh that can shore up some things in the middle on a 1-year deal that's very team friendly, then I want to go do that. But I want to go draft a cornerback. I want to go get a DB. Like that, to me, I still feel that is the most impactful position. But I do think if a guy like Ndamukong Suh gets released from Tampa because of cap issues, that's something I'm like, and we can get him for $8-9 million. Let's go get Ndamukong Suh. Like, you talk about nasty, you talk about physicalness, talk about some guy who's going to play with the level of ferociousness. That guy is going to do it. Now, the puppies around him might not be used to that type of tenacity, but they'll either have to sit on the porch and wait for their dad or get out here and run with the big dogs. One of the two things will have to happen. But the Cowboys will have a very unique chance because they signed their quarterback to now. I think signing their quarterback sets them up so perfectly with here's how we can build our team now, fellas. Now Will McClay has a definitive and certain path on how to build the team. Because if you didn't sign Dak and you kind of went into the franchise mode, to Nate's point, and yes, you were right on this, Nate, if you went to the franchise tag on Dak, he was out the door. He was gone.
Yeah.
And now that takes how you have to build your team differently. You got to think more like we might have to get a quarterback in the draft if it comes to us. Now that part is completely eliminated, and you feel so confident about what your offense can do with Dak Prescott now being signed. I think that gives Will McClay and his staff a much more clear and precise lane and path and vision on how to build this team via the draft and where they can go and get guys in free agency.
Yeah, we've heard a lot of talk about all this pressure that's going to be on Dak now. He signed a big contract. He's going to have more pressure. But how much pressure is on the Cowboys now to build a team around him? They've got a 4-year window here where they're locked up at quarterback. You know, they've got some other pieces in place that are going to be here. How much pressure is on them to build this team around them in this window? They've got a 4-year window now.
They really got a 2-year window, though, Kurt, honestly, because, after 2 years, Zeke isn't owed any more money. Amari isn't owed any more money. Tyron will probably be done. Zach will probably want some more money. Tank will probably want some. I mean, guys are going to start, like all those guys that we had. If you don't get it between this year or the next year, you're going to find yourself in a position where you're like, oh, we got to reload again. We have a quarterback. We got to reload again.
The defense? Can they rebuild the defense in 2 years?
Yeah, to the new situation. Yeah, this is where, and I think you guys agree, this is where Mr. Jones and Steven are great. They can bring in free agents, man, and they can sell. They like the Randolph brothers do on trading places. Sell the Cowboys. That star. And they good at it, my friend. And this is where they can help themselves while they draft what they need. And then you just sell, man. This is where that star should come into play.
And you heard
for these next 2 years.
And you heard Dak talk about that yesterday, about the reach and how being a part of the Cowboys and being part of the Cowboy family extends that brand and lets him do other things, in the community, reach more people. And one thing that stood out to me in that press conference, and I want to get y'all's opinion, does anybody think that they overpaid for him? And one thing that really jumped out to me was he said that he's never been motivated by money. But
Lies!
Well, that's not the drive.
That's a lie.
Okay.
I hate when people say.
Okay. Well, whatever.
Yes, it is.
But
money's always the motivation.
People always say that after they sign a big
after
contract.
they're rich, right. But I think one thing.
Yeah. Why do people always say that after they sign a big lucrative contract?
If it wasn't about the money, you'd have signed for $25 million.
Right.
We wouldn't even be sitting in this position.
But here was his point with that, and I thought it was a great point. It's something I don't think you think about as fans a lot. Jesse, you probably think about it, and Nate, you probably thought about it. He said he owed it to other players in the quarterback position and other guys in the league to get the most money that he could. Basically what he was saying is to keep pushing salaries higher, keep pushing salaries, getting guys paid, because the more the top end guy makes, the more the bottom end guy makes, and he owes it to his teammates to get paid. Yeah, it made sense to me.
You bought that?
I did. It makes sense. Do y'all know as players?
That's why guys are running around here in free agency wondering how they're going to get paid. Because the top end guys that got paid and us low end guys. Why do you think Jesse got back on the plane coming from Puerto Rico to come back to make sure he had a job with the Patriots?
You screwed the story up. That we'll talk about it at some other point. But as former players, you guys don't. Is that not a thing? Like you're growing the pie bigger, right? You're getting guys more money league wide, right?
Sir.
By doing that.
No, you're absolutely right.
Wait a minute.
Right quick,
Hang on. So Jesse's been right on this show. Nate's been right, and now I'm right. Kurt, you got to get in there and get right, man. Come on.
I'm always right. What are you talking about?
I would say this, except for this pandemic year here, when you're in your prime, and that's what guys are scared of. Jesse, what would be the prime of a player maybe from 23 to 30? When you're in your prime years, that is your money-making years, and I may be wrong in the numbers, so you just can help me there. But you want a new contract within those years.
You want to get two within those years. You want to get two within those years.
Oh, okay, yeah. I'm with you, my friend.
Kurt,
let's get right, Kurt.
Well, I wonder how much. Yes, the players are involved with upping the cap and all that. I see that, but I think it's maybe more agent driven. I mean, those are the guys that want to make the money, and they're trying to build it up, and so they can help more of their clients. Where I'm wondering, last year was Dak like, God, I want that $110 million. Why aren't we signing? I'm betting his agent was like, hold on, we got this. It's going to be even more. So.
You're right, Kurt. You're right, Kurt.
Was that good enough, Shannon? Was he right enough, Shannon?
We hit what is it called? A quinella? Is that what it's called at the horse track? A quinella? Yeah. We hit the four-way.
But the thing is, when it comes to these type of contract negotiations, everybody is trying to get, right? Dak's trying to get the most money. Well, I don't care what he says, for him. He's trying to get the most money for him. Mm-hmm. Yeah. The agent is trying to also say, listen, if I get 3% of this, you damn right I want to get him the most money. I get 3% of the cut. And I can also put on a docket, like, I don't know who all Todd France clients are, but now he can go and say, I turned a 4th-round pick into the highest paid quarterback in the National Football League. Now, whether that stays for 10 days, 20 days, because somebody else probably get a deal in the next couple of months, that's on his docket. And then on the back end of it, yes, for the league, you always want to make, like, if Dak would have taken a lesser deal and took lesser money, the players would have frowned upon him, because we would have been saying, "What you doing, bro? Like, don't give the power back to the owners. They already got the money and a lot of the power. We have to maintain and hold on to whatever little bit of leverage and power that we have." And if you give them back money, then now they can kind of, the next guy can try to almost get low ball from his team and saying, well, you ain't do as good as him and he got this, so I'm going to give you less than that. And now the number starts going in the reverse order. I want, as they grow, I want our numbers to grow as well. So it was, everybody was getting taken care of at the end of the day. And the Cowboys, whether they can say, oh, we kind of lost the bet or not, no. You make so much, you're able to give Dak Prescott that kind of money because what you make off of Dak Prescott is 4 times more than his total contract. Mm-hmm. So when because Jerry also in his press conference, he was very clear. We had the most people last year in our stadium. We'll be back in Oxnard, people. So get ready, buy your hotels, get your tickets ready because we're going back to Oxnard. And what did he say multiple times during that interview? I'm looking forward to opening back up next year. And he kept saying safely, but to getting back to full capacity. Because he wants, hey, if you're thinking about buying season tickets, I want you guys to know we're going to be open at full capacity. So start putting your money to the side. So Jerry ain't no fool. He ain't no dummy. You don't get to be a billionaire and be a dummy. He knows that what I paid Dak, I know how to make that back tenfold. Because I'm a fill this joint up. Because people, whether you want to believe it or not, people are going to want to rush to get back to sporting events, trying to get back to some normalcy. People are going to rush because they're going to feel, I did a little poll to kind of feel like how people think now that the Cowboys are going to win the Super Bowl next year. There's nobody more optimistic than Cowboy fans. We did nothing. We literally did nothing. We did nothing that makes our team look different than it did last year. And people are like, we signed Dak? I'm like, wait, we did nothing. We literally did nothing to our team. He was already on our team. We did nothing to improve our team. And there's people who believe just by signing him, we're marching to the Super Bowl. So, it didn't overpay.
Did they
1-3 last year with him? So
did they overpay? It's the only time I'm going to bring this up.
No,
I don't think so. It's market value, and like you said earlier. I mean, few more months, this might look like a great deal. You got Lamar Jackson coming up, Josh Allen, Baker Mayfield. I mean, Rodgers may have a few years, a couple more years. This isn't going to be. Look, this is going to be normal.
How much
maybe
did
a
you
low
get per year on average?
On average, what was it?
4 years for one. What is it? 160.
I mean, it's 40.
40 a year.
Yeah, it's like 40 something a year. 42, I think.
Nah.
When you break it all down, so
nah.
It's about right.
His deal is really that. It's that first 3 years where he gets all of his money. That first 3 years. And that's another
$95
point.
million.
That's another point for the Cowboys. If you don't get it in these first 2 years, when Dak comes to that third year, you think after that third year, when all that money is gone, he comes back to the table in that fourth year saying, "What's up? What y'all got?" You know, and if they got him there, or if he's playing lights out, whatever it may be, he gonna want a new deal in a couple years too. So, gotta win now.
Yeah.
Win now.
Sure.
I'm so glad.
What do you think, Shannon? You think they overpaid?
Nah. We've been saying it on the show. Give him.
Yeah.
That's what he needs. Because you're right. These new deals that are coming up, he won't be, him, Mahomes. There'll be guys that will leapfrog him, and I think, the only concerns you have are, how's the leg, the foot, whatever, the ankle, whatever the injury was. Everything that you've heard from him, everything you've heard in reports, everything you've heard that, Jerry and Steven say, he's going to be ready when the time it comes. He said in his press conference yesterday he didn't want to put a timetable on it, but he would be ready when the time comes. He's your guy. You didn't have another choice. Like I did not want to go. I'm not convinced if they would have tagged him that he was gone. That's just my opinion. I think he wanted to be here. I think he was waiting for the right deal. I know that's what every report that you read is he was gone if they tagged him again. I don't think he was gone. He has said he wanted to be here. He was going to be here. So
wow, it's so great to say things after the fact. That is so.
No, he said this before he signed the contract.
I could have stood up before the crowd yesterday after $95 million in 3 years and said how I was never going nowhere, how I was going to be the greatest guy in the world. I mean, I could have said all of these things, great. But everything that was leading up to this did not show that. The history of this did not show this. The stubbornness of both sides did not show this. So,
And you know what?
I don't believe that one, bro.
We'll never know.
Yes, sir.
We'll never know. You can have your opinion, and I can have mine.
I do know. I mean, me and Jesse got inroads to the big dog. We got inroads to the big dog. Right. Yeah, we'll never know.
We'll never know.
Yeah.
Well, get him on the show and let's ask him. How about that, Nate? If you got inroads, why don't you get him as a special guest?
No problem, baby. Yeah. No problem.
Get him on.
No
get him.
problem.
You can't even.
Catch him right when,
you can't even.
Catch him right when he geeked
you
up.
Can't even get your.
The stadium gonna be full.
You cannot.
Get on the show and tell us the stadium gonna be full.
You can't get your best friend Prime on this show, and you call him 20 times a day. So there ain't no way you can get the big guy on the show.
Prime one coming over, and we won best friends. Prime like the rest of them. You got best friend money.
He wants some scratch.
Yeah, I ain't got that best friend money.
He wants some scratch. No, but I don't think they overpaid. I think you did what you had to do. I think the deal this year that's about the right money. Last year we were all saying 37 or so, 40, 41, 42. I think that next year it would have been even more. I honestly think you are getting him at a bargain, because I think you're going to see quarterback salaries with Mahomes set the bar. I know he spread it out over several years, but you're going to start seeing quarterbacks. I think the league is turning into a league like the NBA. Quarterbacks now are starting to realize their value. They're going to start dictating where they want to go, and they're going to start naming their price. And guess what? History shows someone will pay it. They pay big money for bad quarterbacks. You think if these top-line free agents start wanting to get paid, that somebody's not going to be like, okay, here, we'll figure the rest of it out. Come to our team. I think you're getting him really on a bargain. At least it's going to turn into a bargain. So, all right, let's take our last break.
What? Hey, wait a minute.
What?
My dog. What was that?
That was my phone. That was my phone.
I was about to say, that wasn't true.
No, that was my phone.
Kurt wasn't going to take that blame. Kurt said, I'm not taking the blame for this one.
I'm not in that.
That was my fault. Sorry, guys. All
Kurt
right.
said, that was not my dog.
Let's take our last break. When we come back, we're going to turn it over to Kurt for Kurt's Amen Corner with the gospel and the truth in Shannon Gross when we come back on Hanging with the Boys.
In the light.
How great would it be to travel to watch the Cowboys win on another team's turf? Pretty great. But honestly, just watching the game from anywhere but your house would be fun. Even a hotel bar with some guy named Phil from St. Louis who thinks Oakland still has a team. So whether you're traveling to the game or watching from your favorite vacation spot, book a place to stay on Hotels.com, proud partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
Hey, Cowboys fans, ready to spice up your next watch party? Bring Yo Quiero guacamole and be the game day hero. Yo Quiero means I want, and we know you want great, fresh-tasting, ready-to-serve guacamole for your home gating and tailgating events. Made with real avocados and the perfect blend of spices, it will be the star of any party. You can find us at your local Albertsons or Tom Thumb in the deli section. If you can't find it, talk to your store manager and tell them, Yo Quiero guacamole.
Hey, Cowboys fans, if you're thinking about attending a game this season, visit cowboystravel.com to book your travel package today. Stay at the team hotel, have dinner with a Cowboys legend, and experience AT&T Stadium's exclusive VIP Owners Club. Also, tour the Star, get autographs from your favorite players, and talk X's and O's with me, Mickey Spagnola. The official travel partner of the Dallas Cowboys will take care of all your travel needs. Visit cowboystravel.com.
Just like all of you, we at SeatGeek can't wait until we're back in the stands at full strength cheering on the Cowboys and singing along to our favorite songs again. We're using this time to make discovering, buying, and selling tickets to events in Dallas easier. Plus, every ticket purchased on SeatGeek is protected by our buyer guarantee, which means you'll get your money back or better if your event is canceled. Guaranteed. Download the SeatGeek app today, and when the time is right, let's go. SeatGeek.
Back to Hanging with the Boys.
Tour AT&T Stadium, the home of the Dallas Cowboys. Run on the field, see the locker rooms, and so much more. Tours are available daily. For details, visit attstadium.com/tours. One of these days, I'll tell you all about my experience at the stadium. But right now, we are looking live at Tostitos Championship Plaza at Ford Center at the Star in Frisco. A few more people out there than they were when the show started. It's a blistering 74 degrees outside and cloudy. The Conference USA basketball tournament is going on right now at Ford Center. So, back to the show. Fellas, Nate Newton, Jesse Holly, Kurt Daniels, Dak has signed the contract in black ink. We can move on. We can start talking about the draft at some point. But the rest of today's show, we are going to talk about whatever Kurt wants to talk about. This is Kurt's Corner for the last 17 minutes of the show. Kurt, take it away.
Well, one question I wanted to ask you guys, former players, is that, you know, we're a week out from free agency starting, and as we've talked about, a lot of teams are letting guys go. I mean, the Chiefs let Eric Fisher go earlier. Cowboys let Jameez Adewale go. What's this like as players? Are these guys starting to get a little nervous? They freaking out, or is it just kind of what was this time period like for you guys?
Quickly before Jets start, this is not only will your play on the field determine a whole lot for you, but boy, how good is your agent now? Go ahead on, Jesse. How good is your agent?
I lived this life every single year in my career. Like, every single week for me was, I'm just like, am I here on Monday? Okay, good. Am I here next Monday? Oh, okay, good. I never had the luxury of being comfortable enough to sit back and go, I'm good. This was what these guys are feeling now. I felt damn near every week of the season, just hoping my check would clear every single week. So, I mean, I was always on edge because I was expendable. I was a guy who was expendable. And trust me, I watched the numbers. I watched injury reports. I watched all that on our team like, hey, bro, you healthy? You up? You down? What's your deal? Because I'm like, I'm starting to do, like, when I first got cut and realized like it was a numbers game sometimes, and it necessarily doesn't have to do with your productivity or lack thereof, but depending on where you fall in the depth chart, if another position needs numbers and you holding up a roster spot, they'll let you go. I was like, oh, this is different. This is a different animal right here. This is really a business. So once I got back on, I was like, that's why I practice so hard. I'm like, at least if it comes down to who's just a better person than a practice player, I want to win that competition too. If it's between me and the next guy, I want them to be like, nah, we need him for practice purposes, or we need him for whatever. So I know this anxious feeling because I lived it every single week of my football career.
Yeah, I would think that'd make it a little tougher, that extra pressure. I mean, was it harder to get out there, or did it motivate you more?
It motivated me. Get up. Get in the training room. Get your body right. Eat right. Sleep right.
You wanted the coaches to see you, man. You wanted the trainers to see you. You wanted even the equipment guys. You treated them with the utmost respect. You know, man, he never has a bad day. You can check the box on this guy. He's nice. He's intelligent. He works hard. You wanted every box checked in a positive and right way.
Facts.
Well, also as former players, teammates, what's it like now for the other guys on the team that Dak's got paid? I mean, what was it like when Deion Sanders entered the locker room after getting his big deal, or some of those other players?
We as players, we've always thought, okay, as they get a little bit more, that could be a little bit more in the pot for us. It just geeks up every position, man. Like I said, when you're in your prime years and you feeling your oats, boy, you see somebody like that get a contract, boy, that really drives you. You know, gets you going in the right direction, and it locks your mind. I'm talking this is for the serious guys. Everybody ain't serious. Me and Jesse always talking from a serious point of view because we was always those anxious guys. But you know, a lot of guys ain't serious. They don't care who signed. But the majority of the guys, they see that them dollars. It's like a slot machine, and he just hit all jacks all the way across.
Shoot, I remember. I mean, when I was there when Miles got his big deal, and I was happy for Miles, and I'm like.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll probably never get to that amount of money, but I remember when they kind of like tenured Sam and he was making like tenure him $1.9 million guaranteed. I'm like, I want that. You know, I'm like, I got to just do what Sam did to get to that. And so he got that like 2 years in a row. So he caked up like $3 million 2 years in a row just doing what he was doing. I was like, well, if I can do that, I can use $3 million. But you're happy for your guys. You know, those guys in the locker room are happy for Dak. You know, for me, like when Miles got his deal, it was like, all right, we know who buying dinner now. Like you're picking up the tab on dinners for a while now, and so you know you're happy for it. If those are your guys, and we've all said, and it's all been reported, that Dak is a great leader in that locker room. I doubt he has many enemies. I doubt guys are kind of like side eye, like he got paid. It's more so like, okay, yeah. Because guys are thinking as well, like if you wasn't going to pay Dak, then you darn sure wasn't going to pay me. So it's like, now, okay, yeah. I'm glad you took care of Dak. That lets me know that I possibly will get paid as well.
Yeah. So that's a boost, a motivation boost for the whole locker room.
Yes, sir, man. Shalom, man.
Yeah.
Does it do something for you? Kind of touched on this a little bit, Jesse. Does it do something as far as players appreciating the organization more and knowing that they will take care of their guys when they're their guys?
Yeah, that's the history of it. And the Cowboys have been known to take care of their guys. So it definitely lets you know, like, oh, okay, my deal's coming up in a minute. And again, you start looking around the locker room like, okay, Tank got paid, Jalen got paid, Dak got paid, Mari got paid, Zeke got paid. Oh, mine coming, baby. And you know that if you done, you know, even if you haven't done what you're supposed to do, you still might get paid.
Now, what about, you know, we talked earlier about free agents. I mean, they're going to go, in truth, they usually go where they get the most money. But can having Dak there now signed, does that help at all in bringing extra guys in free agency?
This is a weird year. This is, like we say, this is the first ever with the pandemic year. So guys are going to be looking not only for their money, but they're going to be looking for that perfect fit so they can enhance their situation. If they just come in and sell out for the money this year and look bad, that may hurt them. So guys not only going to be looking for the right money, they're going to be looking for the perfect scheme that's going to enhance them. And this is where I say the agents got to be hands-on and trying to help these guys decide where's the best place. But I think we have an advantage with the new defensive coordinator and with the way the way Mr. Joneses can sell, we got a good chance here, a very good chance. So guys are going to be excited, but money is going to be the first option, but they better be looking at scheme too.
I got a couple of draft-related questions to you. I know we're not the official draft show of DallasCowboys.com, but I did have a couple for you. Do you think now that we keep talking about they got to build the defense through the draft and all that kind of thing, but you've now just spent $1 bazillion on Dak Prescott. Do you think it changes any that they have to protect this investment, that they could spend that 10th round pick on a lineman?
Well, the first thing Mr. Stephen Jones said was, we know we got to rebuild through the draft. But remember, we got CeeDee Lamb, so we just can't go sell out for defense. And I'm saying to myself, here we go now. We was already setting this thing up. So our first 2 or 3 picks going to be all offense, then we'll get the scrubs on defense.
Oh, my God.
We can't do it that way this year. We can't do it.
No.
You know
if a player falls, I understand. You got to get players as they fall to you. But once the first round is over, because we can't reach out and go at number 10, go down to number 15 and get some dude that ain't going to help us. But from that point on, you got to start looking seriously at your defensive players. I mean, I'm with the draft. The draft don't favor the defense this year. So, yes, and this is where free agency going to be big. But you do have to draft some guys, because if we stand pat, we know what's going to happen.
My biggest prayer is that offensively, especially the line, those guys who had to play last year got some quality reps and can be ready to go. And I pray, and this prayer probably is falling on deaf ears, my God is still dope, that Tyron can give us at least 12 to 14 games this year. I know he's going to miss at least 2. If Tyron can give us that, you bring back Lyle, you got Zach Martin, you got Connor Williams, and Biotish, however you want to make that Joe Looney combination mix work, I think that line is solid enough to hold up and do what we needed to do, especially if you're not talking about wholesale injuries. Like, you don't lose Lyle and Tyron and Zach all at the same time for an extended period of time. Yeah. But if you can keep the core of that offensive line together, I think that can be something that you got to think about in the back of your head and saying, I know Slater or Sewell may be there to draft, but, man, we can sure use these picks to go get these defensive guys and bolster our defense. And they got the most, what do they call the picks? The comp picks. Maybe package that up, send it somewhere else, and get another pick somewhere, in the 3rd or 4th round. So I think you should focus on defense and just pray that your offensive line, with the experience the guys got last year and the veteran guys that you have, they can hold up just enough to give you what you need.
All we need is 2 of those guys to come back. Lyle or either Zach or either. We just need 2 of those guys out of the 3 to come back. And this offensive line will be all right. This offensive line will be more than all right. You got a coach that can address different situations. He can fit players. All we need is for 2 of those guys to come back. Any 3 will be all right as long as Zach Martin is. Any 2 will be all right as long as Zach Martin is a part of that. And this offensive line will be all right. I promise you, man.
So I was thinking maybe as long as Tyron Smith is a part of it.
Oh, no, bro. You can always protect one position. You can always protect one position. It's when you got to protect 2 positions is when you're going to hurt. Trust me now. I've bounced around as a fat man before. You got to be able to protect that. If you can always turn to one position. There's offensive lines out there that's garbage, bro. That's getting deep into the playoffs.
So
you got the quarterback. You got the pieces on offense.
Yeah.
Come on now.
So having
a wheelhouse now, baby.
I know that's what. So having the guard back in Martin is you think that's more important than having the left tackle back in Tyron?
Because we can turn to that one side. We can always adjust to that one side. We can always make room for that one side. And these guys are not great by no means, but we can help that. We can help that.
Yeah.
These guys have gotten experience. That's what I kept saying last year. Let these dudes play where they can get, because the only way you can get good in this league nowadays is back when I played, you can come from the bench after 2 or 3 years. Now you got to play these young guys. And through injury, they play these young guys. If Lyle come back, if Zach come back, now you just turn. Because Zach and Lyle can handle theirs.
Yeah.
You know, or if Tyron Smith come back, you got Connor in the middle, you got the center, whichever they decide. Now, all of a sudden, we let Zach handle his, but we can just turn out there and help one tackle. Last year, remember, we was having 2 and 3 guys depending on where the beast was coming from. This offensive line will be all right, brother. We got a coach now that can coach from any position. He can help with schemes. We gonna be good, man. You're gonna be tighter than Shannon's haircut, baby. They're looking good, Shannon.
He does look good.
Thank you.
Liking that.
Thanks.
Well, Peter King said this week that he wouldn't be surprised if the first 8 picks are all offensive guys. So the Cowboys could have several guys sitting there at 10 that they could choose from. But if that's the case, would you want them to trade down a little bit maybe and pick up or do you get the best guys? Stay where you at?
Where you at, man. And if that's an offensive guy, let it be an offensive guy. But then when you go into that second round, that's where we're finding out it's a lot of defensive players there. It's a lot of guys that will fit. And it still may take a little time to get these guys right. The question you asked earlier, and Jesse answered perfectly, was get that old – bottom line, we still need a hog in the middle. But we need a hog that want to waller. Last year we had a hog that wanted to just roll anywhere you wanted to roll it. This year go out and get a hog that want to waller in one spot. And that's on the offensive line. You know what I'm saying?
Wallow in one spot. I like that.
Yeah, that he can't be moved out of that spot.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, I don't know what to tell you. I guess the other thing I really got is they did get 4 compensatory picks, a 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th rounder. How much does that change their strategy? Would you like to see them use the picks to try to move up, trade around, do that sort of thing, or do you get as many guys you can? 5th and 6th and get you a 3rd or a 4th if you can.
Yep.
Get you a 4th. I said get rid of that 5th and 6th and get you a 4th.
No point in bringing 10 guys into the mix.
Yeah, for real.
Well, fellas,
everybody can't be a 4th and long, baby.
Fellas, we can move forward now because Dak's deal is done. Thank goodness. We can talk about some other stuff.
Baby.
You know
I'm
what?
a genius.
You know
I'm
what?
A genius,
because
baby.
even though I think this is the one show that was like we were all together and get the deal done, and we didn't really want to talk about it anymore. There was nothing to talk about until it got done, but we wound up talking about it every single show after the end of the season. So I am so glad that we can come up with other things to talk about now. So going forward, Dak, we all agree they didn't overpay. The deal is done. Let's move forward and talk about other. We can get back to having fun on this show. How about that? Let's have fun next week.
Oh, it was fun talking about
It's always fun hanging out with you guys.
It was fun talking to you guys.
It's always fun on
Especially
this
after
show.
I gave y'all the scroll and the script on how this is going to go. You know, I just really like it.
You know what?
What do you think, Jeff?
We got a lot of geniuses on this show.
Close the show.
Okay. All right. Well, we're going to get out of here. Chris, thank you for keeping us on the air. Kurt.
Thanks, Chris.
Glad you got back in the mix.
Fun
Jesse,
in the song with them guns.
Love the shirt. Nate, looking good. That's it for us. We will be back next week.
Mexico, baby.
We're going to get to talk about some other things besides Dak. Dak, congratulations, man. The smile on his face.
Let's go to Jersey this week, y'all. Let's go to Jersey.
At that press conference said it all.
Shout out to the Kingdom Collegiate Academy varsity boys, the Cougars. We're headed to College Station tomorrow to play for 1A TAPS State Basketball Championship, baby.
Right.
Let's go,
Let's
Cougars!
go, Cougs.
Yeah, way to
Let's go. All right, fellas.
Nice.
It was fun. Enjoyed it. We will see you next week. Same time, same place. This has been Hanging with the Boys.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.